The FNATIC Streak65 LP is a revision of the popular Streak65 releasing November 2021 for $119.99 or your local equivalent. On the box you'll see some of the features listed out, but the first thing that impressed me was just how stunning this board was in the new white colourway. The next was how light, compact and low profile the board is. It's a 65% form factor which is becoming increasingly popular for gaming, retaining some function keys and directional arrows without taking too much desk space like a Kailh. My scales placed it at around 400 grams, but despite this feather-light feel, there was absolutely no flex or bend due to the aluminium top plate used. The base is plastic, but houses the new added sound dampening foam, which really helps to deepen the acoustics of the keys and has rubberized fold-out feet for 2 angles of usage. I found that the flat profile was quite pleasant, having used a Logitech G915 previously, and personally I favour low profile boards for long duration gaming ergonomics and reducing wrist strain. When you plug it in, the RGB absolutely pops on the white board, reflecting and diffusing naturally. The switches remain the Kailh Choc V2 Orange branded FNATIC Speed switch. With an advertised 1mm actuation point and 3.2mm overall travel, it feels snappier and more immediate than my other boards that use full-size switches. I had been sceptical about returning to low-profile gamer boards, considering them a bit of a gimmick, but after some time with the Streak65, I'm absolutely starting to see the value of a gamer-focused and designed keyboard. There's just no messing around trying to find the right switches, building your board, no group buys for expensive keycaps. You plug in the board and immediately you're in the game. The Kailh Choc V2 are also incredibly stable and smooth switches to use both for gaming and typing, with almost no wobble or play even when forced. The stabilisers that FNATIC use have absolutely no rattle and, I'm pleased to say this time, are generously factory lubed. The new PBT keycaps have a gentle contour and texture that makes them both satisfying to use and easy to keep looking fresh. With all that considered, here's how the board sounded for me in use. In addition to a comfortable low-profile form factor, high-performing switches, upgraded acoustics and PBT keycaps, the board also features some gamer-oriented features like RGB customization that's seen here. There's also a woven, coiled cable in the box to give you the enthusiast look on your keyboard and desk without the associated price tag. You can also tell there's a lot of attention to detail and care gone into this board, with touches like the FNATIC logo appearing when you first plug it in. The visuals and aesthetics are also subtle and muted, they're not garish or loud like you see in some gamer boards. Final thing of note that I found was a competition mode. It can be easily activated with function C, it disables the excessive lighting, macros, Windows keys, shortcuts, so it's great to have easily available if you quickly need to get into a game and focus. In terms of my overall thoughts of this board, the number one thing that jumped out to me was the aesthetics. The form factor is so unique, the RGB is amazing on the white option, the coil cooled, the look and feel, the low profile experience. Genuinely feel that this board is one of the best options for gaming with ergonomic comfort without sacrificing performance. Talking performance, the gaming grade switches, the Kailh speed switches, are a noticeable step up from the V1 Choc iterations seen in the G915, with less movement and play than the Gateron or Cherry options. The general build quality and attention to detail is fantastic, the legends are incredibly clean, the RGB transitions smoothly, the keycap spacing is regular, and there's absolutely no mold deformation on the caps. The typing acoustics, the PBT keycaps and the custom board level stabiliser feel and noise are a huge bonus. The noise dampening foam in the case is certainly doing its job to reduce ping and hollow reverb. And finally, on the positive side, the 65% form factor is comprehensive, and I really like the key layout with the function key layer. It makes sense, the arrow keys and commonly used page up, down, delete are still available, and the OP software has basic key remapping and macro functionality if any of the function key options aren't suited to your needs. In terms of space for improvement, as an enthusiast, I did notice the lack of factory lube on the Kailh speed switches. Now this does not impact performance and isn't really noticeable in game, but you can feel some friction when typing. I think these switches are absolutely top tier and really do deserve a layer of factory lube to bring the best out of them. Less a point of improvement and more an observation, this board isn't hot swap, so if you don't like the switches that it ships with and don't plan on desoldering, there isn't really many other options for you. I don't consider this a huge negative, as they're just such great linear switches and I personally wouldn't change them even if I could. Whilst I do like the linear switches, most gamer boards do tend to offer at least one other variant for people that have preferences. I think a tactile option in this switch could be really popular and useful. I don't like the fact that you have to hold function for page up, page down and delete. In this case, I think out the box, the default function key state should really be what the key does. And lastly, I think it could be even better if the bottom plate of the board used the same high quality aluminium used on the top plate. Realistically, this might help feel and acoustics, but could increase price and weight and certainly wouldn't impact gaming performance, so this is down to preference on me. In summary, the Streak65 LP really impressed me and showed just how far the gaming keyboard space has evolved since I last bought a gaming keyboard. Previously, I would have recommended anyone serious about PC gaming to take the plunge and just buy an expensive custom, but I think that advice could be a bit outdated now. Boards like the Streak65 are dedicated, high-performing, competitive gaming peripherals, and they deliver that performance for reasonable price tags, making me doubt the value proposition of the more expensive premium boards that I own. If, like me, you discounted gaming boards as cheap gimmicks, or are looking to buy something quality as your first gaming board, the FNATIC Streak was a fantastic experience, and for $119, I have absolutely no doubt that it's going to be a real contender this holiday.